She's alive. Alive!
So, I don't know about you, but it feels like the Frankenstein world has decided to take the Kane from the WWE storyline and make it really... It feels like Kane's storyline is playing out in Frankenstein form.
Or did he just have 100 years of loneliness to refine himself and up his
I'm
vocabulary?
not talking about it, but no, hang on a minute.
Is that what you're on about?
No. Back in the 90s.
Now I get you. Okay, now I know where you're going with this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So back in the 90s, Kane starts and he can't utter a word, right? Nothing. Then over time, they want to give him a bit more edge. They put him with D-Generation X. So he gets a little voice box thing, like, you know, like a cancer patient gets with like throat cancer.
Yeah.
And he can talk through that. And then suddenly he can talk perfectly, and now he's the mayor of Knoxville. For 100 years, Frankenstein has grunted at us. Barely been able to string a sentence together. And now, in the space of 1 year, the man is the most eloquent speaker in movies.
But that's the way he was written, I am pretty sure. Pretty sure he was the perfect dead human being. But the only thing that was wrong with that man were that his lips were off colour, the way Mary Shelley wrote him.
Okay. If people haven't noticed yet, I have learned how to do multi-angle functioning here. So
he's having great
we're
crack.
now
We're
here
jumping
at
all
three
over the
fucking...
place.
Well, I'm going to stop because eventually it's going to get ridiculous. It's going to be all over the fucking shop. So I'll only do it when we really need to do it.
Boys and their toys.
What did you think of The Bride?
Fucking loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
Getting a lot of shit.
It's getting a lot of shit from men.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I've seen more men give out about it than women give out about it. I'm just saying it's a bit suspect that a lot of men are giving out about it. Considering it is hugely feminist. It's hugely feminist. But I don't think it's too feminist.
No. I liked it. I felt like... Do you know what? I'm going to... There's a review. I have a review for it at the end of the show.
I'm excited to hear it.
And it kind of explains my thought process. Because I think it's really cool how we've kind of went from... If you look at Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, he's looking for a partner. He's trying to convince the doctor to make him a bride. But the doctor's refusing because obviously he feels what he's done is already an abomination.
Yeah.
And by the end of the movie, Dr. Frankenstein dies and the monster walks off into the distance, accepting his fate. And now we're 100 years later. He's still walking around the place lonely. And now he's still looking for someone to make bride. And I compare it in my review tonally to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Look at the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was the 70s and was grimy and was dirty, and that's the way a lot of 70s movies were. And then look at the 80s, and suddenly it's neon-soaked fucking craziness, but still with the same story and same fucking idea. And I feel like this is the same. It's just aged with the times, you know. It went from classical times to the 1930s gangster era where everybody's having fun and going wild after, you know, before one war and before, or after one war and before the other. That nice sweet spot where everyone's happy. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I can't understand the hate for it. I mean, it's not really your typical horror movie, is it? It's more of a kind of tragic love story with the feminist twist on it.
Yeah.
And
it is still it is horror.
Oh, there's some.
But it is by definition.
Oh, yeah,
it's horror.
Obviously,
yeah. Do you know because.
And another question: can we now officially refer to Frankenstein's monster as Frankenstein? Can the gatekeeper stop with he's actually Frankenstein's monster? Because now he is in a movie where he is specifically called Frankenstein, where he is specifically called Frank for most of the movie.
But if you want to be that gatekeeper about it and that correct about it, then it's not Frankenstein's monster. It's Dr. Frankenstein's monster. So if you want to correct people on it, correct people fucking properly. Frankenstein is the man's second name.
Yeah, because Dr. Frankenstein is his dad.
Yeah.
So technically, Frankenstein is his surname, and that makes 100% sense. But because I hate that. I've always hated that.
The correction on it. It's like, yeah,
It's
we
like,
know.
But everybody knows when you say the word Frankenstein, you don't think of the doctor. You think of the monster. You think of the dude with the bolts in his fucking neck.
Do you know what we should do when people start correcting us is turn around and saying, actually, you're wrong. His name is Prometheus.
Yeah, actually, that's the name of this week's episode, The Modern Prometheus.
Prometheus. Prometheus
yeah.
Frankenstein. It sounds very posh. And that kind of, it's
Percy
in keeping
Frankenstein. And Percy was her fucking
husband's name.
yeah,
Percy
Mary
Shelley.
Shelley's, yeah. Wow, well, look at that.
That nearly got all the credit for Frankenstein, which you can feel a lot in that movie.
2 years of filling in the gaps on this show has started to help.
Holy God, did you not listen to the whole episode I did on Mary Shelley and Percy Shelley?
Yes and no. Yeah, but I mean, if I remembered everything we said in here, I'd forget how to do maths.
I think if I didn't do the same deep dive into Mary Shelley, that some of the movie might have been lost on me a tiny bit, but it was the fact that all the credit for Frankenstein nearly went to Percy Shelley when Mary had to publish it anonymously. That's why she's like so hardcore on reclaim your name. Do you know, the bride of Jekyll, the bride of Hyde, she gives that speech, it's reclaim your name, because of all people in that genre who know what it's like to be nameless, it would be Mary Shelley that nearly lost. I mean, like, it's the start of fucking science fiction. She's the mother of horror, and she nearly lost all of that because her fucking husband nearly took all the credit for that. And I like it. I think it was a nice touch as well when he turned around and he was like, no, actually, I'm Swiss, because the book was written when Mary was staying in the Swiss Alps.
And they have another little touch to that name kind of fucking thing, because the doctor, what's her name? Euphrates. See, I was about to start calling her Euronymous.
Euronymous,
like fucking
Bosch.
mayhem.
Yeah,
fucking, but she says the same thing. When he comes in, he's like, I'm looking for the doctor. She's like, well, I actually fucking, I actually publish him under, you know, my first initial and my surname. It's easier that way.
Yeah, because she's a woman. More people in the 30s are going to put stock into medical paper or medical book if they're under the illusion that it was written by a man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's been the case up until very, very recently.
Same way hypocritical J.K. Rowling had to lead people to believe that she was a man when she published Harry Potter, and now she's a big old turf.
Yeah. We fucking told me she technically transed herself in her writing, didn't she?
To get to where she is now, and now that she's made her millions, she's speaking out against it.
This is every episode now. Every episode this planchette drops, I'm wondering, are we haunted here? Because this room, since we decorated
the utility room is definitely haunted.
And ever since we decorated it all horror-ish for the studio, it's been
I'll be honest,
sketchy
when I Twitch stream in here on a Monday night, once I get to midnight and I start shutting stuff down, I need to get out of this room. I get the chills and the creeps a tiny bit. And it's not because of the decor, it's because of a weird feeling in the room. I don't know.
Nah,
we should get what's his name back in to do a seance in this room.
PJ from Kuka Vogue.
Yeah.
They got their own podcast now. Go check that out. It sounds pretty awesome. I've listened to a few episodes. It's pretty cool. So the Bride is in the cinema, and you can go check it because it's doing terribly and it needs your help.
It does. It's an amazing movie. It's fantastic.
It's gonna be on streaming pretty quick, I reckon. Unfortunately,
I'm pretty sure it's one of those ones that might be a box office flop, but that's going to be a cult movie.
I hate that about Hollywood movies. That this idea that everything hinges on one weekend.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's going to be seen as great or fucking terrible hinges on one weekend. There's movies that were released decades ago that I wrote off and I've watched recently. I mean, like the Resident Evils, right? I mean, the first one of them I saw when it first came out, which would be what, 2001, 2002, so it would have been maybe about 14. And since it had no relation to the actual video game, I got pissed off and was like, well, that's shit. And I'm not going to watch the next one of them. And I never watched any of the sequels. And over the last week or so, we've been watching the sequels. I was like, oh,
these are good.
He's from the game. Yeah. He's from the game. He's from the game. Shit, that whole ending is the ending of Resident Evil 3, the video game.
Where have you been all my life?
So I was like, oh, right, my bad. But again, because this perception of once one thing goes wrong or one little fucking bad fucking weekend can ruin an entire fucking franchise, you know?
Yeah.
It's just baffling. And then you could go in and be like Ted and do too well. and just be too expensive to make, and they don't bother with you either. It's ridiculous.
It's a very fine line.
I think when you're looking at how a movie does, you're going to have to start paying attention, especially in the streaming era, of how it does later, not how it does one weekend in the cinema. I mean, is it really that expensive to keep these movies in the fucking cinema? Is it costing them that much to keep this movie in the cinema if it's doing badly?
What did you say it made on its first weekend? Was it 79 or 7 million?
It was low. I can't remember specifically, but it was pretty low considering it had something like a 90 million budget. It was something, I think, like 17 million or something like that.
By that logic, if you left it in the cinema a few weeks, you probably make back most of the budget. So why pull it from the cinema?
Because obviously, if it's not doing, I suppose the logic point is if it's not doing well this weekend, the people who went to see it, if they're not happy with it, which the reviews are mixed, then I don't know, because obviously word of mouth can help sometimes, and I mean then word of mouth can hurt sometimes, because as we've seen with Scream, my prediction, as much as I fucking ate my words last week, my prediction was right. Fucking week 1 stormed into the fucking box office and kicked the fuck out of everybody else. Week 2, everybody heard what the ending was and was like, you know what? I'll wait for it to be on Paramount Plus.
It hurts as well when one of your killers is like, yeah, I'm a pretty flimsy character.
I couldn't believe it when I came across the video. There she is at a camp, and she's just like, I was trying to get him to give me more scenes, but they gave me the Gale scene outside the house.
Guess who I wouldn't be fucking hiring?
The lady had one scene prior to her giving out about it. She had one scene in the movie before her reveal. Even some of her reveal is ad-libbed to try and give extra context to what she was doing. She, apparently, it's not in the script for her to mention killing her son at the end of the movie.
So
she
that would have been
it.
an ambiguous kind of kill. Well, that kind of gives her character more. She's willing to do fucking anything. She killed her fucking son.
But it also hurts in the sense of she showed absolutely no malice towards this boy up until this point. In fact, she's very protective and good.
She does.
But crazy still bleeds through at home eventually. Do you know? Again, like we have discussed multiple times, the son would have known she had been in a mental hospital.
Yeah.
Or would have known that his mother was missing from his life for a period of time and might have brought that up in fucking... Especially if you're a horror buff who is a stab fanatic, the same way Scream fans are Scream fanatics, the people within the franchise are stab fanatics, which means by being a fanatic of that franchise, you know the rules and you know who to look out for. So even the slightest, smallest, weirdest discrepancy about somebody is worth digging into. So if she is was missing for a portion of your life, your father was killed at some fucking point or died suspiciously, surely the boy would have been like, you know what?
Mom's probably bad.
Mom acts a bit crazy around the house sometimes, you know? But no.
Can you imagine if she only had that one scene, it would have been shit on?
Well, I mean, Marco only gets one scene before he unveils himself. But I mean,
like, if every single one of the killers gets
they give
one
him a surname
fucking
as well,
scene.
Marco Davis, I think is his name now. Well, at the time of release, the dude didn't have a surname. No, he's got a surname. So...
But even the first Scream killer, even when he was unmasked, I'll be honest, until you pointed out who he was, I thought he was just kind of like a randomer. I didn't even realise that we had seen him briefly for 2 seconds in the coffee shop.
Oh, the very, very first guy. Yeah, I keep forgetting there was 3 of them.
3 of them, yeah.
Yeah, I can't even remember that dude's name.
Shane. It was, it's a very American name, I think.
Either way, I have read this week, for a fact, 100%, Kevin Williamson will not be involved in Scream 8. Not for any bad reasons, not for any negative reasons, but he actually put off, like we said last, or we're going to say soon. Did we talk about the Universal thing last week? See, can't remember one week from the other. He stated that he had to push off the Universal Monster Show to do Scream 7, and they gave him permission to do that. They were cool about it. But it also means because they want such a quick turnover for Scream 8 that he can't be involved in Scream 8 because he's busy with this Universal Monster thing. So that means Scream 8 will be written and directed by somebody else.
Will Neve Campbell have a hand
Please, Neve, don't write fucking Scream 8. Just be an actor, be a producer. Just don't write it. You don't watch horror. You don't like horror. Do not fucking write a horror movie for us if that last one is your fucking hand in the whole franchise. Do you know what I mean? It was underwhelming. I'm back on board with it's the worst of the bunch. Because last week I felt back. I was like, well, how could I fucking fight that? I can't fucking dispute numbers. Numbers are numbers. They did well in the box office, but the obvious second week drop off was huge. They dropped off by like 75%.
Okay, that is massive.
Do you
That's
know?
massive. And then, as well as that, if people hear that it wasn't a great movie, you're going to be pirating more because you're not going to want to pay for a bad movie. You're not going to want to come out of the cinema after dropping like 50 quid between everything, like, and coming out with a bad movie. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I would happily trade, and as much as I loved the kill scenes in this movie, I would happily trade the inventive kills for more fleshed out killers and a better storyline. 100%.
Yeah. Don't be listening to those stupid fucking focus groups. They don't know that unless the focus group is made up of long-term Scream fans, then what's the fucking point?
Like, your focus group should be your demographic, surely. Like in your
should be horror nerds.
Yeah.
Should be obsessive
well,
Scream fans.
We can't say that they didn't have Scream fans or that they didn't have horror nerds. I have seen Scream fans, though, say this week that they really loved the movie because they were able to call the killers straight away. And I was like, why is that a valid point for liking the fucking movie? Like,
I thought that's one of the suckiest things to happen was the fact that literally Anna Camp's first scene, I looked at you and was like, she's the killer.
And you pretty did the same with Marco, like.
You're like, what? I was like, she's the killer. She just said something that is dead obvious. She's the killer. And the thing she said that tipped me off straight away was, well, with my background, my abusive husband, I was like, well, she's the killer.
Gone.
That's her. Because it was so fucking close to the way Officer Bailey was fucking hinted at with the concept. And I don't know how that didn't dawn on me when we were watching Scream 6, that this dude's really... I mean, I started to click who the killer was, but at the same time, I didn't click the motivation for a long time. And then it was like, they both kept saying that they're like, him and his daughter, Quinn, they both keep saying, we have a dead brother. And I'm like, oh, you fucking idiot. Dead brother. I mean, fuck. How would I fuck this one up?
Enough to like swerve that as well to kind of keep you guessing. But this was just too on the nose. I had an abusive husband. Now I don't have an abusive husband.
And I was like, that's her. She's one of them.
Yeah.
There is killer number one.
When Nev and Courtney Cox walk into the mental asylum, and it's the way that Marco looks at them, and it's not star-studded. It's that kind of gives the game away as well.
Well, he was creepy.
No, it wasn't creepy. It was like, holy fuck, look who I have here. And you can kind of, I think for me, that's what gave it away for me.
He was too giving for a medical professional. Usually, in the sense of, realistically, if you or I showed up at a mental institution after a murder had been fucking killed and said, hey, any chance we could see his room? They'd be like,
no problem.
Any chance you want to show us your fucking warrant? You know?
And not keep that for, he gave him a lot away before he actually said you're going to need a court warrant for that.
Yeah. Do you know this person? Yeah, he was here for years. It's like, dude, you suck at your job. Yeah. But no, I made it pretty obvious. Look, we've been talking about Scream for 3 weeks. We started here on Frankenstein. I don't know how we got to fucking Scream, but either way.
Box office numbers.
Even though the next person to take over Frankenstein is Kevin Williamson.
I have already said my piece on that.
Yeah, you've written that movie off or that show off without even watching it.
It feels like it's going to be cheesy. From what I read, it's going to be like One Tree Hill for monsters. Or the OC for monsters. I don't want to run away.
Oh. No, that's too dark of a joke to make. No. I can't do it.
I don't know. I've heard some pretty dark jokes this week. Looking at you, Zara.
What if Dawson was after he faked his death?
That's
also,
dark!
he came back in Frankenstein in the Universal. I don't know. I heard that apparently his cancer was extreme. I don't know for sure. I only heard this on a different podcast.
Okay.
That his cancer was actually pretty treatable early on, but his wife is hugely into
holistic treatment.
Yeah. So he went down that route rather than the one that would have saved him. So he would kind of needlessly died.
I'm just having a look here, Van.
I'm not 100% sure on that though. So I mean, don't quote me.
I will tell you.
It's still sad that the man died. No one fucking.
Well, it was colon cancer.
But apparently, at the top, when it was caught, it was treatable. He just went holistic with it. Stage
3 colon cancer when he was diagnosed. Stage 3 is pretty progressive.
I don't know. I don't know what any of these stages.
I don't know. I mean, like Sharon Osbourne was cured of it. You know, she had colon cancer. And she had it pretty bad, and she was cured of it. So maybe it is one of the more curable ones. But I always thought stage 3 was not great. Like,
I don't know because, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into cancer.
No.
Cancer sucks. Let's
let's
move on
not.
to more fun stuff like horror.
Yay! Oh, now with what's coming though, because that's not fun
this
stuff.
this isn't exactly terrible fucking news because they've said they're going to continue.
Yeah.
So, the last drive-in has happened. Well, not technically hasn't. We still got 4 more coming. After nearly a decade on Shudder, the cult horror show The Last Drive-In is the dog. The dog is on his way in. Hello, Mr. Producer Dog. Yeah, just make your way in there.
Sit up on that.
Over here. Up.
I gotta stand up and close this door.
And Caesar's on camera. Say hi, everybody. Say
If
hi,
he
dog.
came into his chunky costume, he would be perfect.
You just chill there. Let us get this done, yeah? Good boy. Anyway, the cult hosting show, The Last Drive-In, with Joe Bob Briggs, is coming to an end. The surprise cancellation happened after the season 7 finale, bringing the regular run of the series to a close after 7 seasons and more than 200 episodes, movies, hosted on the platform since 2018. According to Joe Bob Briggs himself, the decision wasn't his. And he says Shudder never gave him a clear explanation as to why they were cancelling the show. Despite the disappointment though, Briggs said the reaction from the fans softened the blow and described it as the most joyous cancellation he's ever experienced because of the overwhelming support and messages that have poured in from viewers when the news broke. The show may be ending its regular series, but it isn't completely over just yet. 4 new special episodes are still scheduled to air on Shudder this year, including a previously announced special on April 24th, plus additional summer, Halloween, and Christmas specials that will keep the drive-in spirit alive a little longer. Briggs hinted also that the concept could continue in another form. I mean, well, let's face it, Last Drive-In isn't exactly his first time doing this.
No, it's not.
Mean,
And they've great scope with the Last Drive-In as well to bring it over into
Patreon and just run it from there. But I mean, he did Monster Vision. Before Monster Vision, I believe he had a different one again.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I can't remember the name of that one. But Monster Vision, I believe, started with Penn and Teller. I think I said that before.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's interest from other potential partners since the cancellation news spread. If the idea
Join
returns,
the Horrorverse network, Mr. Briggs.
we already got Double Freak Show coming, and I finally figured out where to fit that in our timeline. So we'll get to that after. If the idea returns elsewhere, it may appear in a similar format, but possibly under a different name. With the weekly show ending, Briggs now plans to focus on several other projects. And he previously didn't have time for. So those include more live appearances, writing projects, and launching a horror production company.
Well, writing was kind of where he started, isn't it?
He was a reviewer. For newspapers.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he was kind of pretty young when he started doing his reviews.
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. I just know he has got a few books. Some they vary. They're not all about horror movies. There's some about kind of lifestyles and stuff like that. I don't know. I haven't read them yet. Haven't had a chance. Been still doing that Stephen King binge.
Excuses.
Lady, I swore like last year that I was going to read every Stephen King book before I turned 40.
I mean, has it happened?
I stopped reading it about 2 months ago and haven't went back to it since. And it's not because
you need a break sometimes.
That's it. I had kind of burnt myself out because I had read like maybe 10 of his books, and then I was just like, this is a big one. And I kind of just kept having these nights where I was reading, but it wasn't coming. It just wasn't entering my head properly. So I just gave up and started watching documentaries for a while, and then I'll go back to. I've started going back to it this week. I did read a little bit of it this week again.
Okay.
But the other problem is, when I read, sometimes that stops sleep from happening because I get too glued in.
Too sucked in. See, if that was me, I'd just cock on the tablet.
That happens, but it's like It's like I'll read a little bit and I'll know my eyes are going, but then I'm like, oh, the end of that chapter was really fucking good, and then I'll end up going into the next one, and then I'll start falling asleep, and the next day I have to reread everything that I tried to read.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same problem I had with Ted season 2 last week, where it was like, I'm falling asleep, I'm getting tired, my eyes are
hurting. Watch
hurting.
most of the season without me.
Oh, well, what would happen is I'd like start the episode, then decide about like halfway through, like I'm starting to get tired, so at the end of this episode I'm gonna go to bed, and then they get super fucking hilarious. I'd be laughing my ass off, and that would wake me up again, and I'd be like, I'm ready for another one more, and I'd be like, but after this one I gotta go to bed. And then halfway through I'm pissing myself laughing again. It was fucking awesome. I'm hoping the cartoon is as good as the TV show, but I can't. I can see it being funny, but I think the live action side of it is like the ridiculousness of the live action scenario is what kind of bit it makes.
For me,
it.
I love watching his cute little butt when he walks, the way it moves and he waddles around. It's like, oh, come here and I squeeze you.
Oh, my favorite's when he's running. When he's running in a panic. Anyway, so where was I? With the weekly show ending, yeah, I've said all that already. One thing that isn't changing is his partnership with Darcy, the male girl, Diana Prince, who has been a key part of the show's success. Briggs emphasized that Darcy will be involved in whatever he does next, crediting her as a major creative contributor who helped shape topics, guests, and movie selections for the series. Despite the abrupt ending, Briggs says he has nothing but appreciation for Shudder and the fan base that support the show. Over the years, the series built a tight-knit community known as the Mutant Family and even helped raise over $1 million for charity through its holiday specials.
I loved seeing that in the holiday specials, and even the way Joe Bob talks about the charities that are being donated to in each special. He's just a very nice, loving man. Like, it's the way he comes across. Like, and the charities that he chooses are fantastic charities.
Well, they seem to be charities that are important to him.
Yeah,
you know,
very
fucking animal charities, stuff like that.
Kids.
Lady, you're pulling stuff all in. Last week she's dropping lights. This week she's
I'm not.
I can't have you on set at all. This
me
is
around though, and I'm trying to get used to my setting again. Sit straighter, tits out.
I gotcha. Oh, you meant you. Okay. So, are we all ready for the Ghostface Rabbit?
Maybe.
The voice behind one of horror's most iconic killers is joining the twisted fairy tale universe of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Roger L. Jackson, best known to fans as the chilling voice of Ghostface in Scream, has officially joined Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3. Nice. Jackson will provide the voice of Rabbit, one of the new characters being introduced in the third film. The movie is part of the growing Twisted Childhood universe, a low-budget horror franchise that reimagines public domain children's characters as violent monsters. Now, I'm surprised at this because I thought the next movie after Pinocchio was supposed to be Monsters Assembled. It was supposed to be the
Maybe there was a spanner in the works somewhere. Maybe they wanted to expand on it because they are bringing in extra characters into this Winnie the Pooh, so it means that there's extra characters available. Is that what you're saying? Oh no, Monsters Assemble was different. Sorry,
It was just going to be their Avengers, but with a bunch of monsters. You know, it was going to be who we have already, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
so by introducing more characters here, does it not give them bigger scope then for Monsters?
No, I get that. I just
sorry, my train of thought went funny.
The way it was kind of put forward, I thought that's what they were working on literally next.
Okay.
Was the Monster Assemble movie. And that was supposed to come after Pinocchio. Because the Pinocchio trailer looks cool.
No, it does. It does. It looks class.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
It looks creepy. Now you want to talk about trans. Pinocchio.
Nice wig.
And I knew he'd be using that nose to kill people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, if you're going to turn Pinocchio into killer, it's just a no-brainer, isn't it? It's like if you turn Pinocchio into like a porn parody. I mean, no fucking brainer, like.
Where did we see that?
There used to be a joke dirty joke that I wasn't allowed to hear going around about it when I was like a kid that I heard about him and Snow White and somebody else and somebody sitting on his face and screaming, lie, motherfucker, lie. But it was one of those texts, you know, that our parents be sending around. You know, when mobile phones were just a thing. And I remember seeing it, but that's the only...
Was there not a scene in the Amityville Vibrator with some weird kind of doll fucking thing?
I can't remember much of the Amityville Vibrator.
I remember that particular scene because it was weird.
Do.
not that the whole movie wasn't fucking weird. But you're right, there is more characters coming into this version. So the script has been written by cult genre filmmaker Richard Stanley, who did Hardware and Color Out of Space, and the film will expand a roster of twisted 100 Acre Woods creatures alongside Rabbit. The movie will reportedly include heffalumps and woozles. I've heard of heffalumps. What's a woozle?
Woozles. He's a weasel.
Huh?
Weasel. He's a weasel. They are weasels. There's a few woozles. There's also a few heffalumps. So obviously heffalumps are elephants and woozles are weasels.
Well, obviously heffalumps are fucking elephants. I mean, obviously.
Well, if I said to you, what animal does a heffalump sound most like? What would you say?
Yeah, I suppose so. I
Elephant. I can't think of any other animal ever that sounds like heffalump, only than an elephant.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll accept
and
that.
woozle, it's just replaced the
yeah, that's an obvious one. Casting for the sequel includes George Drogo as Winnie the Pooh, Eddie McKenzie as Piglet, Louis Santer as Tigger, Marcus Maisie as Owl, Carl Stannis as Rabbit. I assume that's the body of Rabbit, not obviously because we just said the voice is going to be Ghostface. With Josephine Blazer leading the film as a character named Momo.
Oh, I really hope it's not Momo.
The meme?
Yeah. I don't find it creepy, I just find it annoying.
Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't looked that up, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The third film will continue the escalating carnage and the dark reimagining of the 100 Acre Woods. According to the early teases, even though the original killers were seemingly defeated, something in the 100 Acre Wood refuses to stay dead, hinting that the massacre is far from over. I just hope that they kind of ease up on the Freddy Krueger-ness of Tigger.
Yeah,
Tigger
he doesn't need that.
And he wasn't even full fucking Freddy Krueger. He was more Scary Terry from Rick and Morty. I'm coming to get you, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of that shit. The sequel is also building towards a much larger crossover event in the franchise. Poohniverse Monsters Assemble, a planned crossover movie bringing together multiple twisted childhood characters from the expanded horror universe. I don't know how you fit Peter Pan into all this, because that movie, that movie felt a lot more grounded than the other ones.
Peter Pan did? I mean, they have the trap door, isn't it? That kind of brings me into completely different. I found that kind of magical about it. Not magical, but less grounded.
Yeah, but you don't know the schematics of the house. That could have been an easy fucking way in, you know? Like, it could have just been fucking a part of the house. It could be on a higher level in the house.
So.
It could be a fucking crawl space.
I think that was not paranormal, but, you know, yeah, I suppose kind of paranormal. I don't think that was bringing him into it.
It's literally the only other fucking paranormal part in the whole movie. The rest of the movie is basically he is keeping Tinkerbell drugged up to her fucking tits.
That's his Neverland, though. Like, do you know what I mean? When they go off, they go flying to Neverland in Peter Pan. I think it's more of an opposite way of not flying, but you're going down into the ground. Like, I think it was an actual...
That movie was all about fucking him and drugs. He was drugging these people. No, they didn't really specify what he was doing with the children.
I just thought that place was the equivalent of his Neverland. Not that it was Neverland.
What place? The shitty little like rundown looking fucking childcare room with the fucking paintings on the wall. Like,
yeah.
That was just a room, though.
I know, but because, I mean, you can't make it
an
expansive
still more grounded
fantasy. Okay.
Then
a
bear coming to life, a stuffed bear, a teddy bear coming to life and killing everybody with his pig, rabbit, and old friend. And then there was the tragedy of the donkey that killed him. What's the donkey's name again? Eeyore. He killed himself. Did he kill himself or get killed in it? His grave is in the second one. I know that.
he is very much a character that does have the potential to kill himself, but I don't know how he died. I forget.
Poor Eeyore.
Poor Eeyore.
The Gangster, the Cop, and the Devil. The horror powerhouse James Wan is stepping behind the camera for a new project that blends crime thriller and serial killer horror. Wan has signed on to direct and produce an English language remake of the 2019 South Korean film The Gangster, the Cop, and the Devil for Paramount. The original movie, directed by Lee Wan-tae, became a cult hit thanks to its brutal premise and intense cat and mouse storytelling. The plot centers on a mob boss who survives a vicious attack by a serial killer, only to form an uneasy alliance with a determined police detective so they can hunt the killer down together. Their partnership is built on mutual hatred and competing motives, leading to betrayals, gang conflicts, and escalating violence as the investigation unfolds. One major piece of continuity is already confirmed for the remake. Ma Dong-seok, who is also known as Don Lee, which is a much easier name to say. I should have just went with that. He starred in the original film and is widely known to horror fans from Train to Busan.
That's who he is. Okay.
He's set to return to play the same gangster character in the Hollywood version.
Okay.
The project marks Wan's first time directing a film since Aquaman and The Lost Kingdom in 2023. He's pretty much kept himself busy though with,
everything else.
Yeah, I mean, he what's Atomic Monsters, his thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they have Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, and he's brought all those modern franchises into the world. Even though, see, people fucking make it out like, I mean,
here we go.
Well, for me, Saw is the only one out of the three of them that I would consider as hardcore. But James Wan's name is kind of synonymous with like torture fucking.
Yeah, because of Saw.
Yeah. But just because of Saw. I mean, Insidious, again, I didn't bother watching for a very long time, and then you were like, you should watch it. And I mean, as we went through them, I was kind of making jokes like, I think it was like Insidious 1, Insidious does The Conjuring. Insidious 2, Insidious does The Shining. Insidious 3, Insidious... Bricks movie. Loud noises! I think Insidious 4 was my favourite. I can't remember.
I fell asleep for that one.
I can't fully remember, to be honest with you. And then Insidious 5 is where they're older, yeah? College one. That one was okay.
Yes.
But... I think very early on, the first one was made out to be like this horrific, terrifying thing.
It's only because, like I said, if people remember the lipstick demon jumping up behind Patrick, or appearing behind Patrick Wilson, and that, in your defense, it wouldn't have been as scary if it wasn't the loud noises the minute he was shown on screen, because it's kind of quiet, it's talking, next thing he's just over Patrick Wilson's shoulder, and it's like really, really loud for a second when he's shown, and then it stops again, and it gives you that jump scare. It gives you what it needs to give you a jump scare. Like if it just cut to Patrick Wilson and they were still talking and there's this funny looking thing looking over his shoulder, that's not scary in itself. It needed that's scarier behind it. No, but not the way it was shot. I understand how it would be scarier, but they would need to do it more subtly.
I prefer the more silent scares and that kind of thing. I think it's more unsettling when the director isn't telling you, be scared now.
No, I think what's actually scarier in Insidious, the first Insidious, more so than that demon behind Patrick Wilson's shoulder, is when she's out doing the washing and that cute little kid with the baker boy hat is just dancing to tiptoe through the tulips in the sitting room. And even though he's a happy little chappy to the kind of like a happy feeling song, that's creepy as fuck.
100%. That's
creepy.
Way fucking creepier than Darth Maul showing up behind you. Because that was my first reaction as a Star Wars fan. I was like, oh, Darth Maul! I was doing
he used to brush his hair.
Doing that Leonardo DiCaprio fucking meme. Pointing at the TV. Darth Maul! What's he doing here? But yeah. And maybe the Conjuring thing was just there because I saw more of the Conjuring than I did Insidious since I kind of bought it. And then obviously we had the same lead actor in both fucking movies.
I would say though the
But
first
she-
Conjuring is far scarier than the
Oh,
first
yeah,
Insidious.
yeah. But it was the only scary one.
It was the only scary one. Scared the shit out of me, but it was the only one that scared the crap out of me. It's the clapping. It's the clapping. It's the clapping. That was perfect. That lended so much, gave so much to the movie. The clapping in the dark and then the clapping back from the wardrobe. It's fucking terrifying.
100%. But I think what fucked it up when it went into the sequel was a lot of people already know the Enfield story. So changing
When you
the
don't go
Enfield
with the
story,
yeah.
it was a stupid fucking move. You know,
The
they're
nun
just.
isn't that creepy at all.
I've watched none of the spin-offs.
No, the nun, she kind of
I
appeared
know,
once or
but
twice in the
I
Enfield
can't
one.
remember the second
We
one
didn't watch the nun.
at all. No, but I can't remember the second
Oh,
Conjuring
sorry,
at
yeah.
all. It's
No.
like a movie that refuses to stick in my head no matter how often I watch
I
it.
remember the one with the heart attack, where he gets the heart attack at the start, only because we had talked about them on one of our shows.
That's literally the newest one. Isn't it? That's Last Rites, right?
Yeah, that's why I remember that one. Okay, cool.
Yeah. New podcast or new show, not podcast coming up. It's Your Dearest Darkest Friend. Cult actor, director, right? What did he? Has he written stuff? Yeah, obviously he wrote The Evil Dead, didn't he?
Yep.
Was it him or Sam that did that? I always get that confused. I don't know which Raimi is which.
I think Sam Raimi was Drag Me to Hell. I could be wrong on that, but he wrote.
Ted Raimi's in that game I played that keeps crashing on me. Yeah. The Quarry.
That's Ted. He was he's in The Quarry. He did he appear in one of the Spider-Men? He's also in The Grudge briefly. He is 2 characters in Ash vs. the Evil Dead. He's in 7 episodes of that. But yeah, I'm not too sure. Let me just have a look at his writing credits and all.
Sam Raimi is the one that did Spider-Man, right?
Yes.
I did. Either way, he is going.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. He is going to be starting a brand new interview series titled Your Dearest Darkest Friend. The show is being developed for the horror streaming platform Screambox, and it promises a more intimate and atmospheric take on a typical celebrity interview format. The series will feature Raimi sitting down with guests from across the horror industry, including actors, filmmakers, special effects artists, and other genre creatives. Each episode will run around 30 minutes, and the first season is planned to consist of 6 episodes.
Sorry, because I am wrong as well. I thought he directed and wrote a lot more than he actually wrote. He's written 5 things and directed 3 things.
So I was right. Sam is
Sam.
the main
Yeah,
actor.
yeah.
He's
Exactly.
more of an actor. Okay, that's cool. Well, what makes this show a little different from a standard interview program is the setting and tone. Raimi will host conversations inside a haunted parlor-style bar where he'll mix drinks for his guests while they talk horror filmmaking and their experience working in the genre. Raimi, who jokingly calls himself a mixologist of macabre, will create themed cocktails or mocktails for each guest during the discussion.
Nice.
The idea is to create a relaxed, spooky atmosphere where horror personalities can share stories, behind-the-scenes memories, and industry insights while enjoying a drink and conversation. The show is designed to feel like a late-night hangout in a haunted lounge rather than a formal sit-down interview. They're hoping for production of the series to start this spring, which is now, with the plans of it premiering in Halloween season.
He's given himself great scope for a spin-off merch. Like, I'd buy a cocktail book full of horror, macabre cocktails.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I absolutely would. I'd be making him here every weekend.
What could you make?
A screwdriver, definitely. A twist on a screwdriver.
Yeah. I don't know. So, I put myself on the spot and I don't know what to think.
I can't think of anything you could change Cosmopolitan to. Can't think of a funny name for Sex at the Beach. I need a few hours with this shit.
Long Island serial killer iced tea.
Ah, decent. I love Long Island iced teas. First time I ever drank one, I didn't know what was in it.
Give me one Rex Huberman, please.
So easy to drink when I was on the fucking floor. It was nearly identical to Marge, being honest.
Is it that because it's super strong? Yeah.
There's like 4 or 5 different spirits in that, and they're very. It's a really really nice drink, and you could just sip it like you could sip like Sprite or 7-Up. When I went, very fast.
Yeah, those tasty
They're deceiving.
cocktails are never good.
No.
Never ever good. Okay, up next we have terrible news.
Yes.
Terrible, slight.
Awful
I mean,
news.
it's good in the sense that it's not going to kill him. Legendary horror actor Bruce Campbell, speaking of Evil Dead, best known for playing Ash Williams in the Evil Dead franchise, has revealed that he has been diagnosed with a form of cancer that is treatable but not curable. I wonder, would that be leukemia?
You can cure leukemia.
I mean, I know Roman Reigns says he has it forever and
Yeah.
that he has to take oral chemotherapy forever, or he takes tablets.
Yeah, that's yeah. It could be leukemia. I know that some skin cancer, unless I'm wrong here, is treatable but not curable.
It is so weird though, and you said it, and it is so fucking weird that literally we watched Bubba Hotep for the first time, and in that movie he's talking about having something on his dick that he reckons is cancerous.
Yep.
And like the next day we open up our fucking phone and it's like Bruce Campbell's got cancer. It's like,
It
oh,
was
fuck.
bonkers. He has an unspecified form of cancer.
Well, he's not telling anybody.
No,
he said
right. He doesn't need to.
Well, he said he disclosed. He's not disclosing the specific type of cancer, but explained he's prioritizing treatment in the coming months, which means stepping back from some professional commitments. In particular, he confirmed that several upcoming convention appearances and public events will have to be cancelled while he focuses on his health. He said basically that the reason he came forward with the news wasn't to try and gain sympathy from people, but to get ahead of the rumors, the misinformation, basically coming from his mouth, so it doesn't like, oh, did you hear fucking Bruce Campbell dropped out of such and such? Rumor is he has cancer. Bruce Campbell's gonna die. Do you know? He kind of stepped forward to say, this is what's wrong with me, before you start freaking out and fucking telling everybody all this crazy bullshit.
It could be stage 4, or it could be, like you said, blood cancer, so like leukemia and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, despite the seriousness of the diagnosis, Campbell struck a characteristically upbeat tone when he was telling everybody. He basically said he plans to keep fighting, jokingly describing himself as a tough old son of a bitch who expects to be around for a long time, which does sound like him characteristically. I fucking love the guy. Everything about him is just... Well, what do we call it against? Not slapstick, splatterstick or something like that. I can't remember, but he's the king at slapstick slasher movie.
Yeah.
You know, he did. I mean, all the Evil Dead sequences where he is basically fighting with himself are just fucking epic.
Yep, Army of Darkness.
He does comedy and horror beautifully. Because the thing about it is, when you look at the Evil Dead, it feels mostly comedic what's going on, but at the same time it's seen as one of the more darker horrors to ever be fucking released, which is fun. It's hilarious because literally the last day, I can't remember how it came up, but I was getting in the car leaving my mom's house, and my brother was there, Joe.
Oh, we watched the Evil Dead with him.
And he said something and I was like in the Evil Dead, and he's like, what? Like, I was like in the Evil Dead. Remember that movie we watched, the Evil Dead? And you're like, the movie we watched? It's like, last time you were at our house, you stayed the night and we watched a horror movie called Evil Dead. He was like, oh, the one with the tree. And I was like, the one with the tree. And you're like, yeah, I remember that movie. And the actor also made it clear that he wasn't sharing it. Yeah, like I said, his goal is to recover enough over the summer to promote his upcoming film Ernie and Emma later in the year, a project he wrote, directed, and stars in. It's not a horror movie.
Okay.
It's I think a romantic comedy.
Oh, it's just on the cover for it. He's standing beside a life-size urn, like a.
Well, I'd assume with it being him, there'll be some element of fucking McCartney in it. So like we said, Campbell's been a cult hero in the horror genre for more than 4 decades, rising to fame in Sam Raimi's 1981 classic The Evil Dead and continuing the role through sequels and the TV series Ash versus the Evil Dead is definitely the porno.
I wonder
100% is the porno. Ash
versus the Evil Head.
He also appeared in shows like Burn Notice and has memorable roles in Raimi's Spider-Man films. I don't know what I was about to say before I said Spider.
Spider?
I think I saw Raimi and just went to say Sam again.
Sam Man movies.
But he's got like little cameos in all the Spider-Man movies.
Oh, he does. Yeah. So does Ted. Ted's in a few of them, isn't he? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
could be wrong. I just have an awful soft spot for Ted.
And I think, is this the last bit of news I got? It is. This is the last bit of news I got today. He'll be back.
Will he?
Action legend Arnold. I was all for it until I realised how old he was when reading the article. Action legend Arnold Schwarzenegger has revealed several sequels to his classic 1980s films may be on the horizon, with the actor saying he's currently in talks to return to three of the most iconic roles: Dutch from Predator, John Matrix from Commando, and Conan from Conan the Barbarian. I don't see a problem with Dutch. I mean, Schwarzenegger's smart here in what he says, because what he basically says
he could be a commander, as in like the guy that gives, not the guy running around on fields. No?
Well, what he's basically saying himself is he is 100%, there's ideas on the table. Nothing is set in stone. He has been approached about revisiting all these characters, and he's down to do it. But the main thing he wants is for it to be age-appropriate action, in the sense of, I am a man in my late 70s. We need to take that into account when I'm doing crazy shit and set. That there's a limit to what... that my characters need to have aged with me.
Yeah.
Dutch can't come back and still be young, fit, and fighting fit. The most likely one that makes sense is the Conan the Barbarian one, because it's going to be it's one that's been talked about for years, and it's called King Conan, and the story would follow an older version of the warrior king who has ruled for decades before being forced back into battle after losing his kingdom. The film is expected to lean into the idea that Conan is an aging legend facing one final epic battle with monsters, magic, and large-scale wars. At the same time, Schwarzenegger says discussions have been happening to bring him back to Predator as Dutch, the soldier he played in 1987. Director Dan Trachtenberg, who has revitalized the series with newer installments, has reportedly expressed interest in finding a way to bring him back in future films, which he kind of already started with the cartoon. With Killer Killers, at the end of Killer Killers, you see that the people who have defeated them over time have been cryogenically frozen and kept by them.
Okay.
Including the girl from the Prey, Danny Glover, and Arnie here. And then the other project is Commando. I've never seen Commando.
Never seen Commando,
so
but I've never seen Conan Barbarian either.
I half-arsed watched the first one.
Conan?
Yeah, I'd have to watch it again. It was on, but I was busy.
I think that a remake of that, not a remake, but a sequel of that with Arnold Schwarzenegger, if he wants age-appropriate action, it should end like Who Colin's story ends.
What, like he dies on the rock?
Yeah, because it's an epic way to go out, and it's age-appropriate if you're in your late 70s.
Yeah, they did make a remake of this with Khal Drogo. What's his fucking face?
How come his name is always on the tip of my tongue? I can picture it. I'm going to have to look this up. This is absolutely shocking.
See, this is what happens to me every week. When you look at me and I'm like, I can't remember a name, it's ridiculous because it's an obvious name. Jason Momoa. Fuck me. See, so I'm saying it comes to me instantly. It's just like a brain fucking fog. It takes over and I can't remember. Anyway, like I said, Schwarzenegger is now in his late 70s. He says he's open to returning to these roles as long as the stories make sense for where the characters and he himself are now in life. The goal will be to create age-appropriate action films that revisit these legendary characters while acknowledging that decades have passed since audience first met him. So at least he's being sensible about it. But I will say, when I saw the words late 70s, I was like,
oh yeah.
I mean, anybody I know in their late 70s struggles to get out of bed.
Yeah, but then on the flip side of it, Josh, how old is Lou Ferrigno? He has to be late 70s. And that was a good movie last night. And he played the character well. And he still looks well. I mean, his arms were fucking massive. Well,
he's the fucking Hulk.
I know he's the Hulk, but I'm just saying, for a man in his late 70s.
Yeah, Ferrigno would have to definitely
to
be
in his late
I mean,
70s.
he was in his prime in the 70s.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, late 70s, early 80s, I
Yeah.
suppose, is when the
And I
Hulk
mean,
was
he'd be the one age of Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger won Mr. Universe, has to be in 60s or the 70s. So they both have been in their prime in the 70s.
Oh, yeah. I mean, The Hermit was awesome.
Oh, I love The Hermit. I knew it. What
you
did I
call-
say
yeah,
to
you
you? I
called
was
it,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah,
not
yeah.
trust that.
Yeah.
I won't say hold it.
You kind of figured out something was amiss fairly early in the story.
I don't know what kind of clicked to me was the way she was talking or something she said, and I was like, might be a detective.
I'll be honest, Joe, I was just sitting there watching it thinking, motherfucker, I can't touch off of this story for at least a year or two.
Why?
Because we've went fucking 5 weeks talking about a cannibalistic fucking family in the backwoods of nowhere. I can't go in with another one.
Well, no, because,
I already had plans for episode 101, 102, and 103 that I'm not going to say nothing. Spoil shit.
Oh, dear.
Shh. But I do have ideas. There is a surprise at episode 100, which is coming up the week after next. This coming week, we have episode 99.
Oh.
Yes.
We should have a big party for episode 100. We get drunk on camera.
Do you not remember when we started this show, no? We tried this.
No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Well, I mean, like, I remember,
we
like,
have to vet the episodes very carefully.
For the first few weeks running up before we actually dropped an episode, because of nerves, we tried different methods to make to make ourselves more relaxed before doing a show.
Yeah.
So that the show didn't look great, so that we could be more
Loose.
personable and loose, yeah. Because obviously at the time we talked very stiff and we were very kind of fucking tight and very stuck to the script.
Imposter syndrome as well, like.
Yeah, and nerves and all that kind of shit. So, I mean, first of all, there was a suggestion of, why don't we have a smoke beforehand? I was like, no. I already know that doesn't work. Me and Roach tried it when we were wrestling. We recorded our first promo stoned. It was terrible. We did a clean afterwards. Perfection.
Yeah.
So that wasn't going to be a fucking option. And then there was option number 2, like, let's have a drink while we're doing it. But again, it was just we were slurring, we were falling over words, we were forgetting things, and it was just early days. Early days, we were always going to be a bit tense. Things have loosened up since then, obviously.
Yes.
I mean, back in the day, we didn't even have video. Now we have multiple fucking angles. Look at that shit.
We couldn't get through a whole show to video it without stopping like 20 times.
Do you know what's worse, right? I'm bragging about the multi-angles here. It's my first time using this. I'm not even 100% sure it's going to work. And this could completely blow up in my face. Like, literally last week, we made a joke on the main show about, I hope people don't notice that we're wearing the same fucking clothes because we recorded both shows back to back.
Yeah.
One of the first video didn't fucking work. So the joke couldn't land in the second episode. I was like, well, that fucks that. So people listening were like, what's he on about multiple angles?
Has
we
he
have
not changed
no
his clothes in
angles.
a week?
There's no angles here. No angles. What's going on? Okay, so let's finish this off with a review of The Bride.
In 1930s Chicago, Frankenstein asks Dr. Euphronius to help create a companion. They give life to a murdered woman as the bride, sparking romance, police interest, and radical social change. Written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal and starring Jessie Buckley, Christian Bale, and Jake Gyllenhaal.
The Bride arrived in theaters to mixed reviews and a disappointingly soft box office, which makes the backlash surrounding it feel a little baffling. Watching the film, it's hard not to see it as a fascinating companion piece to Frankenstein that came out only months before. The earlier film gave us a young, lonely creature desperate for companionship, begging his creator for a bride, only to be rejected by a horrified Victor Frankenstein who saw his own work as an unforgivable mistake. The film ended with the doctor dead and a monster wandering alone seemingly into eternal isolation. The Bride imagines what happens next. Not immediately, but a century later. Now, I will specify these movies have nothing to do with each other. I have made this connection, nobody else. But they do...
Ever.
But they do
they
line right up with each other when you look at them, right?
No, you're right. They do.
The monster has spent 100 years drifting through the world, still ashamed, still lonely, still craving intimacy. The premise alone reframes the story from a typical monster narrative into something much more melancholic and human. Tonally, the shift is dramatic, and that's where many viewers seem to stumble, but the contrast feels intentional. If Del Toro's film was a classical gothic tragedy, The Bride is its unruly, neon-lit cousin, a chaotic 1930s gangster fantasy bursting with colour, music, and theatrical flair. Think the tonal jump between the grime rawness of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the anarchic energy of its sequel. The messiness here isn't accidental. It's part of the identity of the film that the film is building. At the center of all of this is Jessie Buckley's astonishing performance as the bride. She moves fluidly between identities. Penny, Ida, Mary, and finally the bride, embodying a character discovering herself in a world determined to define her first. And I will stick by this. I said it as soon as I heard the British accent. That lady's been watching AEW all year and taking notes from Toni Storm before she did this character, because when she did the British stuff, when she did Mary Shelley, she was fucking Toni Storm.
Yeah, but just to point out, Toni Storm isn't the first woman ever to sound like that in a British accent.
Well, no, I mean, the whole point of Toni Storm's gimmick is she's supposed to be a classic
exactly.
Turkish actress.
That's what Jessie's trying to be.
Whatever. Speaking out, asserting autonomy, becoming something larger than the label she was given. Christian Bale's monster is the perfect counterbalance, restrained, anxious, and painfully lonely. You feel sorry for Christian Bale in this movie.
Absolutely. He says
he's
gonna
not
die
a
from
terrifying
loneliness.
monster.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking...
well-read,
kind of, yeah, like... a social pariah, a freak amongst normal people because of his looks. You know,
but he is probably the best of them.
That's it. His performance carries quiet tragedy, reminding us that beneath the myth is still the same creature longing for connection. This isn't a conventional horror film. The risks may divide audience, but they also make the film fascinating. For those willing to embrace its ambition, The Bride is widely entertaining, visually stunning, and finally gives the bride of Frankenstein the space to breathe as a character in her own right. You can check it out in cinemas now.
Yeah, I mean, when he's trying to get it through to Dr. Euphonius that it's not just sex he's looking for, and he says and he says to her when we shook hands, that was my first time. My heart fucking broke for him. The same way my heart broke for Frankenstein at the end of the Guillermo del Toro movie when he's on about, I wanted a companion. You know, this is me. This is my life. This is what
that's what I'm
up
saying.
for.
The Frank story just continues on from one movie to the next.
Exactly.
And again, it's new because this is the first time we're hearing Frank talk properly. Not just, not caveman talk. You know, it's not... Yeah. He's not just walking around talking like a caveman. He is well-read, well-spoken, you know, and I love his love for movies and the actual things, you know.
Because obviously that was like, even when he's given her a name and he says Ginger, and then he was like, and then he says Penelope, and goes Penelope Rogers. It's obviously he's talking about Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, you know, and that's where the love of movie, like Jake Gyllenhaal is very, very close to Fred Astaire. And then Ginger Rogers would have been his dance partner, like, so he's making all those connections as well, because that's how he calms himself, you know, is through his love of cinema. But I also think that it's absolutely, like you said at the end of the review, it's absolutely amazing that we finally have a movie about the bride where the bride has most of the screen time in the movie, because she has very, very little screen time.
In The Bride of Frankenstein,
Very,
she
very
wakes
little.
up, she's like, I don't like this, we belong dead.
Exactly.
End the movie.
And I love the fact that they had Jessie play both Mary Shelley and the bride, because it's a nice throwback to Elsa Lanchester playing Mary Shelley and the bride in the original Bride.
And it's funny because if you hadn't told me, I would have never have guessed that Jessie Buckley was Mary
Don't
Shelley.
make me be second
No, I
guessing
checked.
myself. Sorry, yeah, because when
right.
she came up first, you were like, is that her? I was like, yeah, it's her. I think she was very like Jodie May. She sounded a lot like Jodie May as well. But I mean, the way she moves, like you said, that accent switching is perfect.
I think people need to look at it as a fantasy movie and just get on with it and
just
stop being.
go with
But
it.
I said this to you. I said this to you before fucking it came out. I was like, after Del Toro's movie, everybody's going to shit in this one. People are not going to fucking take to it the same way because you're after releasing this masterpiece, this beautiful artistic masterpiece, and now you're releasing a kind of musical mayhem kind of fucking movie.
Which is still a masterpiece.
But that's what. But that's the thing. It's just different. It's like comparing fucking
apples and bananas.
Yeah.
Apples and carrots?
Picasso and Van Gogh. You know, they're both artists.
Picasso and Da Vinci, maybe.
Yeah, well, they're both artists.
Yeah.
They're both great at what they do, but they're both very different styles.
Very, very different styles.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what this is. It's like they're both really fucking beautiful movies, but beautiful for different reasons. You know?
Yeah.
Del Toro's got this classic gothic beauty about it, whereas this has that fucking colourful, cinematic, fucking big fucking.
See, I think people need to pay attention to the fact that he says, I have been lonely for 100 years. It's 100 years after the man has been made. Mary Shelley died in what did we say, 1840, 1850? He has been wandering the earth for 100 years. He says to Dr. Euphronius that it's urgent. He is going to die of loneliness. He's never even shook hands before. So 100 years later, you land yourself in the 1930s. So what is your problem with it being set in the 1930s? What is your problem with the culture of the 1930s there to go with it because it's 100 years later? I just love the movie. I don't understand the backlash. I'm sorry.
And what was I going to say about it? There was one more thing I was going to say about it. No, it's got it from my head. Oh yeah, Christian Bale, man, he can dance.
Oh, he can dance.
For a guy that claimed he couldn't dance at the start of that
Jake
movie.
Gyllenhaal.
But I just wasn't expecting to see Frankenstein dancing.
No.
It was such a wild kind of number. Like
I'd like to see backstage
because
videos.
of fucking Gyllenhaal, wasn't it? It was when he meets Gyllenhaal, and that's when the big dance number fucking breaks out.
Awful to him. My heart broke for him there as well when he's basically taking the piss out of him to his fucking face in front of all his friends. It's like, holy fuck.
Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yes, go check it out. It's in the cinema. It's worth the watch. I was going to talk about Dolly this week, but it is not out anywhere near us at all. No cinema is holding it in our general area, so we just gotta hang tough and wait for the digital release. But I have been told that when it comes to Shudder, who are the main producers on this, that generally it's 2 weeks. Cinema, 2 weeks, and then it's on. Then you can get the digital release in a couple of months, and it's on Shudder itself.
To make it eligible for awards shows.
I thought the same thing.
But it's not.
Not just because of award show. Yes, the award show is one of the reasons, but the other reason is to build publicity for the movie before it gets its digital release. By putting it out in a few cinemas for a few things, it gets media attention, it gets interviews.
And people are like, I can't get to it. We're going to have
premiere,
to put it on streaming.
all that, and then as soon as it comes out streaming, it's there. So, if you want more of us, we are on Patreon at the Horrorverse Network. It's $5 a month with a 7-day free trial. We got It's a Live Action, Many Monsters, Playing with Bones, Celebrity Rap Sheet, and Real Talk with the Doctor. Yes. And this week we're going to have a special Real Talk with the Doctor, and it will be free on Spotify. I have an interview to do. So when that interview is ready, that will go up on Sunday, and it will be free for everybody to watch. So what I'm going to do with Real Talk is when it's just a countdown and we're just a review show, it'll be strictly on the free tier of Patreon. But every now and again when I get an interview, I will give it to you for free on all the free sites that are everywhere. Video on Spotify and Patreon, and audio everywhere else. And you can catch Amy Rose on Twitch every Monday 10 to 12 Irish time.
I'm hoping it's still Monday this week.
Amy Rose 9. Why wouldn't it be?
I'm still up to watch the Oscars the night before.
You'd be fine to be playing video games. And we are on all socials at Alive Pod. We'll be back next week with more tales from the Horrorverse. See you all then. Same Alive time, same Horrorverse channel. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.